Hello everyone, I'm Lisa Flint, I've just flown in. And today we are back with more Seduce Me Otome. We are starting a new path today, and let us get into it. But actually, before I do that, let's start with the spiel I've been giving throughout. This is not a blind LP. I have played this game before, but by no means am I an expert in it. If this is the first video in the series you are watching, I do recommend going back and watching the first video and then going from there, because I will be using the skip button a lot, as I don't even know what part I'm up to right now, to be perfectly honest, but there's many parts, as there are many different paths you can go down in this game. So, with that said, today we are starting a new path, and let us begin. New game. New game. And we've crashed. Yay. The joys of YouTube-dom, everybody. The joys of YouTube-dom. One moment when we get this fixed. Ha. I threaten you with deletion and you get in there. Oh, the joys of YouTube-dom. Figure this shit out. New game? Yes. Okay, we are go again. My apologies. For some reason, the game decided to crash. Alright. Let us begin our journey with the skip button, shall we? What is my character's name? Let's see. She feels like an Emma. And we're going to save. Just 'cause I can. And we have crashed. We are off to a good start today. Not fun. We are off to a good start. This is the second crash. Hopefully I will get in and be able to save real quick. Alright, moving on, hopefully. Game, what is even the fuck? We are a go. My apologies, the game keeps crashing. Doesn't matter.
Bah, fine. Be lame.
I am always lame. You and me both, Naomi. We are both lame together. Let us go. Let us go in all our white girlness. You know what? I still want my mac and cheese and soda, because soda is awesome, and so is mac and cheese. If it is prepared right. I'm actually kind of curious what this mac and cheese looks like now. If this is good mac and cheese, or just kind of mediocre mac and cheese, or... Yeah, Yumi's right. I don't even remember what we're talking about Zuzu, but... I'm sorry, I don't agree with you, Zuzu. Well, actually, I do agree with her on some things, but... for the sake of this LP... And we skip, and Lizette is here, and my dad is here, and Daddy love me, let's try again. But he doesn't want to talk about it, because relationships are complicated, and the boys are here, and... Oh, you know, Sam, I am never, ever going to get tired of not hitting you. Boop.
How? You're just being violent now!
Always with you, Sam. Always with you. And we move forward again. And you know what? We're going to go back to protecting ourselves because, Damien, you're being creepy. Down, boy. And we skip over because we've seen this many times before. And hello, Motor Fairy Squirrel. And you know what? You can have your creepy little doll. Enjoy.
What? I appreciate the thought, but no
but
thanks.
Move forward. You know what? I am going to tell James my problems because... a lot of stuff has happened, you know? And we've already told him these things before, so we'll be skipping forward again. You know what? No, Eric. If I'm going to hit Sam for being inappropriate, you know, I have to be consistent across the board. I can't play favorites, so...
Ugh! That's going to sting.
Actually, given the fact my character knows Taekwondo, she could have done a lot worse than just slap you. Just saying. Plus, you know, you're being creepy. But I did. And I've answered that before, so we've had this text before, and skipping. My apologies. This game is very repetitive. And, they're my bros? Like, I adopted them and stuff?
They're your brothers?
Yeah. It was weird. Turns out Mom and Dad, multiple affairs on both sides. Who knew? Well, I mean, you have to admit it. Matthew and James look like they could be from my family if you just look at my dad. Or my mom, I guess, because she has also that blackish gray hair. Really, Trains? Every time I sit down to record. Every time. Anyway, moving on. Skip button. And parties tonight, and, you know, girls, as much as I want to go, you know, I gotta stay here. Because the plot is here. I mean, because, reasons. Hot reasons. I mean, you know, it has nothing to do with these 5 strange guys that are now living with me in my mansion. For free. I mean, not that you know that, but, you know. You two could stay at home, too, I'm just saying. It's a big house.
Are you sure?
Not really, but, you know, the plot. Sure. Let me go back and save real quick. As we actually have one of the first meaningful decisions in this game. Back. Who do I want to help with preparations? Yeah, I think today I want to help James with the garden. To me, it feels a little weird he's doing the garden, but... okay. To the gardens. James and I headed out to the garden. It had been years since I had been in the small field. This does not look small in the least. The gazebo was smaller than I remembered, but I had grown since I had last seen it. Okay, yeah, this is the first time us being on the backyard. Although, seriously, why did we not just, you know, walk the premises? Well, I guess we're doing that now, because we'd get here directly after school. Yeah, it's been a busy day. James rolled up his sleeves and took in a breath of air before sighing contently. Aw, you like being outside, even though you don't really look like you'd enjoy being outside.
So, we need to cater to the plants and make sure there are no muddy spots in the grass.
Yep.
It may take a while.
Okay.
Are you sure you wish to help me and not the others?
Oh, come on, it's a beautiful day, there's fresh air, there's some pretty flowers. I think I made the right choice. For this life, for Emma. I shook my head, rolling up my sleeves as well. I can handle it. I'd rather work outside anyway. James nodded with a smile before handing me a watering can. Gesturing to a group of flowers by the side of the yard, I walked over and began to water the flowers. However, as silence took control of the air, I felt the need to start a conversation. Because comfortable silences are for other people. Not me, though. I'm a main character. Sure. Let's ask him a question. So, do you like flowers? I wanted to smack myself. Why? Is that what you're into, Emma? Cool. That was a terrible conversation starter. Not really. It's kind of neutral enough that even if they don't, you can still get a conversation out of it. I mentally smacked myself before hearing James chuckle softly. I turned to look at him as he nodded. Oh, look at that happy face. So cute.
They have a wonderful aesthetic. Many people would think that flowers are simple and rather boring,
Not really.
but I've learned secrets about flowers.
Really? What juicy gossip, secrets have you learned? Also, yes, flowers can be very pretty, but I'm more into flowers for how they smell. Also a little bit of how petals feel, but, it's very weird to suddenly go start touching petals and never mind. I'm being way too thoughtful of this. Secrets about flowers? What, like a special way to water them or something? Like, 'cause I'm doing the watering, you should totally tell me if there is.
You could say that.
Ooh,
There are right and wrong ways to water flowers.
really? I did not know this, other than no water and it will die, and too much water it will die. Can you show me? James gave a small smirk before walking over and standing behind me. Uh-huh. I instantly blushed as he brought his arms underneath mine, guiding my watering can. The water gently poured over the dirt, sinking into it and dissolving into the roots. However, my concentration on water was broken by the sound of James's voice in my ear. Really? What is he saying?
Flowers need to be cared for gently, like a fragile light. Too much power and they'll break, but too little and they'll wither and fade away. It's like caring for a pet or a loved one.
Aww. That is very sweet. A loved one. Blushy face. For some reason, those 3 words echoed in my head. For some reason. A very hot guy is behind you who just happens to be an incubi, and you are a teenager. If you have any kind of libido, yeah, those words are gonna echo, echo, echo. James continued to guide my watering can. Is that what we're calling it now? Using gentle hands to lead my arms and my body, it was almost like a dance. Wow, okay. Emma, yeah, this is gonna end well. Eventually, he let go and stepped away from me. I turned to him as he simply smiled at me before returning to his work. I felt my face with my hand, feeling the extreme warmth before shaking my head and continuing to water the remaining plants. Oh, that was kinda short. I guess it was cute. It was a good intro to James. Okay, we're back to Mr. Skip Button. Yay! And my friends are here, and you know what? For James's sake, I think I am ready. Let us begin. Yes, got this. Woo! And my parents are here.
How do you
What is
feel
the
living on
question?
your own at such a young age?
Oh. Accomplished? I'm doing my best.
I'm so sorry about your grandfather passing away.
Me too.
It really hit all of us hard.
Thank you for your condolences.
Do you have college plans?
Do I? Yes, I do.
What do you think will happen with the company now that your grandfather has passed?
Stuff. Life will go on. It Depends on who runs it, I guess.
What do you think of the philanthropic policy the company has?
It's like the best. Its policies reflect my own.
Do you think the company should expand from just toys?
Why we're a toy company. It's a toy company. Why? Phew, gauntlet over and skip button resumes. Yeah, I'm just gonna nod at you, Andrew, because... Not this lifetime, buddy. Sorry. Although I do like him. Thank you?
You're welcome. Praise is very much deserved.
Yeah, my servants did a good job. By servants, I kind of mean indentured slaves. But let's not dwell on that. You know what? I'm just gonna stay put, because I've already seen the garden. It's really nice. And we're back to skipping, because no new dialogue, and... leave them alone. And duck. And skip button. What to do today? You know what? It is morning. I need my caffeine fix. As I record this in real world, I actually do have coffee. And I think my character should have coffee too. So let us go make some coffee. And we go back to Mr. Skip button and... You know what? They are busy. Let them keep hitting Sam. I mean, let them keep training. Yes. And let us skip forward and... what to make for them? No, I think because they're in training, simple chicken and rice. You know, protein, a little bit of roughage, you know, good stuff. You know what? I don't want to eat alone. Let's go find one of the guys. Let's go say hi. So I rush back, I take some food. Oh, there you are, James. Wow, it really does skip that quick. Okay. I found James in the library. Well, of course, where else would he be with those glasses? Nerd! Well, no, I would also go find the library, but... my books would probably be much, much more different than these. Anyway, James in the library. But does he have the candlestick or the pipe wrench? Or the rope? People always forget the rope. Sitting in one of the comfy leather seats reading a book. Oh, right, he's one of the boys that actually does know how to read. Which still kind of blows my mind that not all of them do. As I stepped in, James looked up at me before closing the book and standing.
Oh, hello.
Hello. What you up to? What you reading? 50 Shades of Grey, James. I lost respect for you. Hey, James. I got us some lunch for you.
That is very kind of you. Thank you.
Aw, you're welcome. James took his food and sat back down, placing the book he was reading on the table in front of him and settling the dish on his lap. Dude, there's a table, like, right there. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. I should have asked you first before exploring the house and finding this room.
It's cool. I mean, I don't even know what all the rooms are. We should go explore the house together. Let's start with my bedroom. Huh? Oh, no, you're fine. Remember, you live here too now, so any room besides mine is free to be in. Oh, come on, Emma. You missed an opportunity here.
Still, you're the master of the house. I should have asked.
Cools. Right, I do own a mansion. It's so weird. It's fine, really. James nodded at me with an understanding smile before eating his food. Yay, I didn't give him food poisoning! I followed along and ate with him. Taking the open chair beside him, we ate in silence, listening to the ambience of the room. How much ambience can there be? Soon, however, I began to feel a little restless. What should I do? I'm gonna check out what you're reading and judge you for it. 'Cause I do like me some books. I put my food down on the table and lifted a book to examine it. Love and Romance, a study of intimacy. You know, this, well, it's better than 50 Shades, I'll say that much. Oh, James, I am living through right now. James let out a small, nervous cough before he stopped eating and placed his food on the table. Yeah, that is weird reading for an incubus, isn't it? Or is it exactly what he should be reading?
Demons and humans are very different when it comes to affairs of the heart.
Really?
I merely wanted to try learning a little more while I had the chance.
Uh-huh.
I found that while I was looking around the room and had only just begun reading.
Okay, 1, why does my grandpa have this book? 2, oh, look at you trying to better yourself, such a good boy. And 3, actually no, just 1 and 2, and I think 3 is more just, yeah, that is the character. I will study this situation and figure it out. I am the smart one. You can tell because I have glasses and a blazer and a tie. Love is different to demons? How so? James smiled before crossing his legs, getting comfy for the small lecture he was about to give.
Love isn't just a human emotion, miss.
Cool.
Demons like us feel them too.
Good
In
to
fact,
know.
incubi and succubi feel emotions the most because of our link to sexual energy.
Really?
However, we don't really experience love. We know of lust and passion.
Oh, that's actually kind of sad. But passion drives love. No, well, true, but it can also drive lust, and not the same things.
For humans, yes. For demons, it fuels our need to breed and increase the strength of our lineage as well as quells the hunger we have for sexual energy. It's very hard for us to develop feelings from passion, despite how easy it may logically seem.
Cool. I'm learning so much today. You hunger for energy. I could tell I struck a nerve with James. As I mentioned the word hunger, his arm twitched, obviously wanting to do something other than remain in the armrest of his chair. He continued speaking regardless.
Sexual energy is our natural food source and is one of 2 ways to keep us alive.
Okay.
In the abyssal planes, there are many demons to feed off of who are always willing to give their energy up, so sexual hunger is never an issue.
Ah, okay, so that has to be a change coming over here where, yeah, that might kinda be frowned upon.
In the human world, however, we've come to realize that getting energy is a little more difficult.
It just, a touch is, we value things differently, just saying. Can't you just touch a human for energy like you all did with me?
That only gives us so much.
Okay.
A touch is merely a taste, while intimate sex is a banquet for us.
Still, though, I mean, just go to a mall and walk around and bump into people, air quotes, bump, and, you'd get full. Just saying. I guess that was true. Humans weren't all about sex. Are we? Are we really? We're probably a lot more conservative than demons. Yeah, I'll give you that much, at least. It would be hard to gain sexual energy from a human without doing something to them, or catching them in the right mood. Girl, they were pretty easy to manipulate you.
This is why we have a mind-altering ability to convince humans
Air
to give in to
quotes.
their desires. It's not 100% effective, but it gives us a better possibility to get what we need.
Good to know. And if it's not 100% effective, how come both critical hitted me when we first met with, Sam and Eric? What if you don't feed on sexual energy? What's the other way to stay alive?
Food, typically.
Cool.
However, we're
Yeah, that in
weak without
common.
actual sexual energy. Without sexual energy, we become less than human.
Oh.
We have no power nor moral consciousness.
Ah ha ha ha.
We basically start to become unfriendly.
Okay, so I don't want to know what an unfriendly version of you is. Should I be, getting your my friends and your bros to make out, and we make out, and, well, maybe not us, but you know what I mean. And 2 other people for your other 2 bros, because, I don't want to live in a house with 1 friendly incubi. This could go very bad. And, you know, speaking of, since we're, you know, right here, are you hungry now? James didn't reply. He simply stared at me, unable to answer. However, I could tell that he was. Really. He was clutching the armrest tightly, digging his fingers into the leather. I gently leaned close to him from my chair and reached to brush my fingers over his hand. If you really need energy, I'll help a little. No sex, but enough to stop the hunger. Okay? Once again, wow, Emma, that was surprisingly forward. Good girl. Also, James's look of uncertainty is worth it. Once again, I was greeted with silence from James. He seemed very nervous and uncertain about what to do. Now that the approval was there, he was also frozen from my touch, softly and barely twitching at the feel of my skin against his. I could feel his hand grip the armrest harder. The small feeling of boldness then ran through my body, forcing me to cover his hand completely with my own before leaning nose to nose with James in seriousness. Alter my mind if you're concerned about me. I really do want to help you out. All of a sudden, I felt something in my mind. Oh yeah, sexy music started. Cool. Snapped my mind and oozed into a warm, fluffy feeling I felt before Sam and Eric. I felt my body slightly heat up as James released the armrest and gently took my wrist. He gently pulled me out of my chair and onto his lap, having me straddle him with my thighs. He stared deep into my eyes, his own glowing in hunger that I never would have expected from him.
I won't go overboard.
Good boy. Let's go. Time for hot first base makeout. Before I knew it, his lips were pressed harder against mine, my head being pulled to his by his hand on the back of my neck. I gently moved my hand to his shoulder and chest, melting his lap and enjoying every feeling that ran through my body. I felt hot, desperate, and in need of more than just his kiss. One of my hands slid up his neck and into his hair as James lowered his kisses to my neck, gently groaning against my skin. I couldn't help but let out a small whimper of pleasure before reaching up and covering my mouth. I didn't want the others to hear me. Oh, come on, they're probably used to it. Well, maybe not you specifically, but come on, they're incubi. And it was positive neither did James. Oh, come on, he'll just get teased for a while. James lowered his free hand to my lower back, pulling my body against his. I felt my energy slowly draining, causing me to cuddle closer to James's hold on me. In more ways than one, he lowered his hand to my waist, squeezing it tightly as his tongue ravished my neck. His hand that was on my back of my neck, however, gently came round and held onto the tail of my bow. I sucked in a breath, but James didn't pull it to untie the bow. James lifted his lips from my neck and gently leaned his forehead to mine. Rubbing nose to nose with him, he was gently breathing fast, softly red in the face, and as deep into the moment as I was.
I won't go any further if you don't want me to.
Dude? Seriously? I could feel the hold of his mind-altering spell fading away, but I still felt hot. Something told me that I wanted more, but at the same time, I wasn't sure if I truly did want to give any more. Also, thank you, game, for making this an option. But you know what? Let's keep going. Just saying. I want to make sure he is very satisfied with this. I opened the opportunity and I was enjoying it as much as he was. I wanted more, and I was going to let him keep going. He promised not to go too far. Oh, it's moving from a first base to a second base makeout. Cool. But this wasn't far enough for me. Like I said, you want a second base makeout. I gently leaned in and kissed him, giving him silent approval to keep going. I could feel him pull on the tail of my bow, releasing it and letting it follow his hand off from around my neck. He moved the ribbon to the empty seat before gently unbuttoning the top half of my blouse, going no lower than above my stomach. The desire in my body drove me to move the sleeves of my shirt down my arms, escaping from it and letting the shirt hang around my belly. As he began to ravish my neck and shoulders in hot kisses, I leaned my head back and let a pleasurable sigh escape my lips. The pull in my body from him draining my energy had slowed immensely, almost completely stopping. However, James kept touching and kissing me regardless. He was full, but he was as hot as I was and kept loving in my skin and on me. I couldn't even comprehend how much time we spent making out, as a good makeout session should be. I was so lost in the pleasure that I didn't care. Oh, it's sinful, but I didn't care. I loved it, his touch, his kiss, his heat. I desired it beyond anything at that moment, even as he lowered his kisses down the chest just above my bra. My heart was beating wildly in my chest. Something about James drew me to him like a moth to a flame. I didn't know if it was his aura of superiority or his gentle smile, but something in my heart quickened for him. It couldn't have been love. Really, I don't know about that. But it was too passionate to be lust. Oh, look at you trying to be reasonable right now. Also don't. What was it? However, I began to feel dizzy. Seeing the ceiling start to spin, almost wildly, I gripped onto James's shoulders, trying to signal him to stop, but my mind faded to black before I could let out another sound. It felt good. I didn't care that I blacked out. Wow, he is that good, huh? I felt warm and fuzzy in the darkness. I never knew indulging in that kind of passion would be that good. Now I just waited to awaken, hopefully in a good way. Really? How good of a way are we talking here, girl? I'm just saying. My eyes eventually fluttered open, adjusting to the sight around me. I felt familiar silks underneath me, letting me know I was in my bed. I slowly sat up, stretching from the tiredness that still lingered. I felt a very soft pain on my neck and shoulders. I could feel my swollen lips pulse gently and healing. However, when I looked to my body, I saw that my shirt had been pulled back up and rebuttoned, as if nothing happened between me and James. I was just missing my ribbon. I mean, you do need that ribbon to complete the outfit. Before I turned to get out of bed, though, I spotted my ribbon on the pillow beside the one I slept on. It was tied in a nice bow around a red rose. Aww! That was freshly bloomed with a small note attached to it. I gently slipped the note from it in the tie and opened it to read it. Aw, that is so classical traditional romance.
I apologize for indulging myself as I did.
Aw.
I hope that you will not dislike me when you awaken.
Dude, you don't need to apologize for that. If anything, she should be writing you a thank you note. I stared at the note, unbelieving what I read. Why would I dislike him? I let it happen and I enjoyed it. Exactly, girl. Equals partners in this little thing we just did. It was cute, though, to imagine him asking for forgiveness for something we both did and enjoyed. I brought the rose to my nose and gently inhaled its soft fragrance. I indulged myself too, James. I looked at the time out of curiosity. The large white numbers on my phone showed 5:31 p.m. Yikes, 4 hours of being knocked out and I still feel tired. Yeah, making out can be an exhausting activity sometimes if you have the right partner. It was Sunday, so I was allowed to sleep longer if I wanted to. But, you know, I should do homework and stuff. And the remainder of the night, and we're back to good old Mr. Skip Button. Before I could reach the handle of the door, however, someone took my hand. Dude, my friends are here. I gots to go to school. Huh? Hello? I turned to see James was holding my hand back with a concerned frown on his face.
My name.
It's James, I know. Your name?
My true name isn't James, miss.
Oh?
I want you to know my real name if something were to happen.
Really? You think something's going to happen? Like what? His true name? What did he mean? Why was he telling me this now? James gently pulled me to him and leaned in close, whispering in my ear.
My name is Raestro.
Maestro. Cool, pretty name. As he said his name, I could feel it lock in my memory. Something in my head would make sure I would never forget it. James pulled away and smiled at me, despite still carrying worry in his eyes.
If you're in any danger, call my name. I promise that I'll come and help you.
I'm sure this will never come into play. I stared up at James, unable to say anything. I could only nod in response. James smiled before kissing my hand and heading into the dining room. Something told me that name would be used eventually, like a plot hook. And Mr. Skip Button is back, so we go onward. You know what? I'm a better person than you. I'm just gonna walk away, bitch. I don't care. Nope. And we skip. Even though I am a good person, I still get kidnapped. What the fuck? Also, super kick-ass boyfriend, Reishiro, I choose you! Estro! All of a sudden, a bright purple light engulfed the room, causing the devils around me to cover themselves.
What the?
Why are we all naked all of a sudden? I mean... Oh, that's for my mind. They said cover themselves. Gusts of wind rushed past me, almost forcing me back. I covered my face with my arms, bracing myself and standing my ground. I tried to peek through my arms to see what was going on, but the light continued to shine too brightly. As the gust slowly started to die, the light began to fade, revealing James pointing a strange golden gun behind Malix's head. Wow, James is gangster, yo! Although at least he is holding it upright and not to the side. So, points. Although, seriously, dude, two-handed stance, you'll get a better aim. James!
It's alright now. I'm here.
Yes. Yes, it is. Also, have I mentioned my boyfriend is gangsta? Yo? Okay, I'm gonna waste to white girls. I should not do that. My apologies. Malix stared wide-eyed behind him, unsure of what to do. He had no time to react in case James pulled the trigger. He was stuck, feeling the presence of James's golden gun that was ready to lodge a bullet into his skull. Yeah, don't mess with my boy.
Well, it seems like I finally have your cooperation, Malix. It took long enough.
I like how non-pulsed he is by all this. It just... Tuesday.
You piece of demon shit!
Hey!
I can shoot you right now.
No, you won't. You logistically cannot. By the time you turn, he could pull the trigger.
And what's stopping me from shooting you first?
Exactly.
If you so much as flinch, I will pull this trigger and end you once and for all.
Urban gangster flavor, yo. The remaining devils stared, trying to figure out what to do. Help Malix are watching in silence. Eris, however, walked up beside me and crossed her arms as she watched with an amused smirk on her face. Oh yeah, our boys aren't playing nice to each other, but what you gonna do, really? Malix growled, obviously annoyed at the predicament he was in.
What is stopping you, pretty boy?
He has a moral compass, unlike you?
Just me wanting to do this.
Yes. With no hesitation, James quickly moved his gun and shot both Malix's hands. Ouch! The gun dropped from Malix's shot hand onto the ground as he knelt over in pain, holding his hands to his chest. Actually, that is a very good move. Disarm him. Attaboy, James. Remove his ranged attack. And also damaged hands, he can't really do melee, so good call.
You son of a bitch!
No, he's just that damn awesome. Before Malix could finish the sentence, James aimed the gun once again at Malix's head, causing the devil to stop talking once again.
I didn't say you could speak.
Exactly.
You want me to shoot you in the throat?
Please? Emma's a little bloodthirsty, what more can I say? I stared at James in shock. He was playing with Malix? He seemed to act like a cat poking a sharp claw into a wounded rat. It was warranted, but not what I expected from James at all. Yeah, your boyfriend's got a little bit of a dark streak. Who knew?
Now, I'm going to give you 3 seconds to get on your knees to beg for forgiveness. Or, the next bullet goes through your pathetic hellborn skull.
Wow, way to emasculate, James. Good job. Malix hesitated, but eventually ended up on his knees. However, as he settled onto the ground, Malix wrapped his arms around James's legs and dug his teeth into it. Ow. Well, James, it was still a decent plan. We were going for a peaceful solution. I gasped, but remained still as I watched. Oh, come on, girl, you know Taekwondo. Do something. But remained still as I watched James aim and fire a shot into Malix's back. Malix released James's leg in shock, trembling in the newfound pain. However, for some reason, Malix didn't fall over and die. He remained still, staring ahead of himself in pure shock and pain. I could only watch in silence as James lifted his leg out of Malix's embrace and kicked Malix to his side. Hey, I am the only one that gets to embrace him, sir. Back off. I don't care. My man.
Disobedient until the very end, huh?
Yep, pretty much. The air instantly went from frantic to still in energy. What could have been described in tones the color red quickly turned into a deadly mix of purple and gold. Aw, imperial colors, as everything began to blend together all at once. I stared as James seemed to grow more menacing toward Malix. However, he quickly looked at me with a face of concern.
Please, forgive me for this.
I will forgive you anything, plus he kidnapped me! I grew confused, but I wasn't allowed to think on it as James looked back down at Malix once again. James's eyes began to glow a bright gold as James lifted Malix by his collar and pulled him up off of the ground.
It's high time you discover the true power of demons.
Yes, do it! James's voice had changed, sending a large shiver down my spine. His appearance also started to change. But before I could see clearly what James was becoming, my eyes were covered. Oh, dude, come on! We're missing the best part!
It's me. Don't look.
Damien! Damien! I'm not into you in this verse. I listened carefully and let the last two words linger in my mind. Don't look. Why? What was hidden from me? I wanted to know, but something told me to obey Damien's command. The plot demands it, don't it? I could hear Malix struggling to get out from James's grasp, and the rich, bright sound of magic being cast. I struggled with myself to obey Damien's words, locking my arms to my sides to deny myself the chance to pull Damien's hands off of my face. Oh, but I want to see the fight!
Let me go!
Kick his ass, sweetie!
As you wish.
The sound of demonic screams and cries bellowed all of a sudden, causing me to tense up in Damien's hands. Malix began to scream in agony, straining, as if he was being pulled somewhere against his will. Malix's voice began to trail out into an echoey whisper as the magic sounds in the air consumed his cries. Soon enough, the cries and wisps of magic stopped, leaving the air as silent as it could be. However, Damien didn't remove his hands.
Jeez, James. Haven't seen you use that trick since the intruder in Demon Castle.
What?
But you're losing your touch.
What touch?
You even
What
lost
trick?
your glamour spell.
I will argue about that touch, sir. Sam, as usual, you are wrong about things.
It couldn't have been helped.
Glamour spell? What did he mean? Have I not read any fantasy books in my life? Clearly, Emma's not a D&D fan. Who knew? Why did James sound so different? Why was this being hidden from me? Damn it, I want to see.
It's a spell that makes us look human.
Thank you, Damien. I froze. Look human? They didn't look human after all. What did they look like?
Like demons.
Ah, thank you, Mr. Mindreader. As if Matthew knew what Damien was talking about, Matthew spoke up, followed by the sound of a cork popping out of a bottle.
Well, not for much longer. Here.
Aw, but let's see what my boyfriend really looks like.
Thank you, Matthew.
Aww. I could hear the small clinking of glass being passed before hearing James guzzle down a liquid of some sort. The stiff feel of the air around me gently began to warm back up, insinuating that everyone had been returned to normal. Oh, boo. Finally, Damien moved his hands from my eyes, allowing me to see around me. Once again, the devils, including Eris, had fled. Malix was nowhere to be found. The boys, however, here and gathered around me, all of them, including James, looking like nothing had happened. What just happened? I tried to speak, but everything zipped around in my head at the whole event, and I felt like speaking wasn't possible. Oh.
Let's just get you home, miss.
Okay.
There's nothing more to see here.
True. I missed all the good stuff. Damn it, Damien. I could only nod. What had happened boggled my mind to the point of disbelief. I was second-guessing everything, lost in a sea of what and how and when. As we walked out of the warehouse, I looked to James for some form of sign that I wasn't dreaming. James kept his eyes forward, unable to look at me.